Minister O'Brien, could I raise one other issue with you? And it's an issue that has sadly raised its head on foot of a court decision during the year, and that is in relation to defibrillators which are funded through the department. Now, the difficulty at the moment as a result of that High Court judgment last year is that if defibrillators are not being checked, if the pads and batteries are not being replaced, if they're not housed in heated defibrillator cabinets, or if they're out of warranty, you could find a situation where community groups themselves could be found liable should someone die when they look to use one of them. Now, community groups and sports clubs either have to become legal limited companies to get round this, either that or the volunteers themselves will be held personally liable, or there's a second option to expand some of the existing community emergency response systems, that they would effectively take over liability of these issues in a more cost-effective way. So I'm going to send something into your officials, Minister, and I'd ask if you could specifically look at this issue, because what we need to see is operational defibrillators right across this country. We don't want to see any type of a chilling effect on foot of this court decision, and the department, as well as the Department of Sports, needs to be far more proactive in ensuring that we can find a workable solution in relation to this.
Thanks, Chair. I'm not 100% familiar with the court decision, but I get your point in relation to its finding. Look, I think it's important that if a community organisation is going to invest in a defibrillator, that they're in a position to maintain it as well. To my knowledge, it has been supported under the community enhancement scheme before, to some extent. But I look forward to getting your submission on it, and we'll bring it up with officials.
Much, Minister. We now move on to Programme C, which is the Charity Regulatory Authority. There's 4.606 million, which isn't any change on last year's allocation. Is there a comment or question on that allocation? Members happy enough with that? Minister, while there hasn't been an overall change in the budget, there has been a switching of the monies within the subheads there. So could you just maybe explain the reason for that?
I'm not familiar with the particular lines in the subhead. This is specifically for the charities regulator, isn't it? Yeah,
within the subhead. Look, if you could maybe ask the officials maybe to come back to us on it. So we move on to Programme D, which is appropriations in aid, which there's a 24% increase on 2021. The total sum there is 53.25 million. Any comments on that? No. So do members wish to put any final questions or make a comment on the vote before we conclude? Members happy? Great. Does the Minister wish to make any closing remarks?
Sorry, just to say to thank the members of the committee, and it's a new year now, and I look forward to working with you in the year ahead. So thanks for your assistance.
Thanks, Minister. I would like to thank the Minister and the Minister of State and their officials for assisting the committee with its consideration of the revised estimate. As we have now completed our consideration of the revised estimate for vote number 42, the Department of Rural Community Development, the Clerk will now send a message to that effect to the Clerk of the Dáil in accordance with Standing Order 101. So I know that there are some supplementary questions that have been raised by members. So can we ask that the Minister would come back to the committee directly with that? Is that agreed? Agreed. Members should note that the Clerk will circulate any replies once they are received. Just before we adjourn, I'd like to remind members that there is the photograph associated with the launch of our report on the Pensions Commission at 12:30 this afternoon on the plinth. So just finally then, the Select Committee is now adjourned until 9:30 a.m. next Wednesday, the 9th of February, when we will meet with the Minister again to consider the revised estimates for the Department of Social Protection. Gormagat.